Good morning. So glad to see you this morning to all our campuses in the Commons and at Millard and soon to be in Fremont. Super glad that you're part of it. We are closing it down today as far as our message series on this little piggy had none, stuff that's more important than money. And we've taken a look at reputation and honesty, and today we're taking a look at wisdom. And I don't know if you know, it's like if God said to you, I'll give you one wish. I'll give you one wish. What would you choose? Well, I know what I choose. We're going to win, right? We're going to win. Now, this is my lucky shirt. The Cubs have never lost when I wear this shirt. I bought this last night in Chicago, so it's legit. Lynn and I were coming back from Atlanta, flew into Chicago just in time to watch the Husker game and watch the Cubs. Long ride home. Anyway, I don't know, what would you choose? And I don't know what you choose. Maybe you say, well, I'd like to have fewer problems. I want fewer problems. Well, I'd like to get married. Well, then don't ask for fewer problems. I'd like to get out of debt. I'd like to have some different candidates for the President of the United States. I don't know what you choose, but there was a guy in the Bible that God actually asked, what can I give you, right? You got one wish. Now, most of us would go, I'd like 3 wishes then. Like, no, see, you can't fool God. So like, can't wish for more than one. So you get one. And this guy decided he would choose. Well, he didn't, he's like, well, I could get money. I'd like money, boatload of money. Maybe I'd like to have a long life. I'd like to be famous. I'd like to have a good time. But he asked for wisdom. And God was so impressed that he gave it to him. And he became famous. And he became wealthy. And he became powerful. And we don't oftentimes understand how important wisdom is. We think that education's important. Truly is. The politicians are now telling us, we need more money for education. Need more money for education. I'd like to say to somebody, hey, we need more money for wisdom, because there's a difference between wisdom and education. And you know those people, right? They got a lot of degrees, not real smart, right? Don't be nudging anybody. It's like, but we know that, it doesn't, you might have a degree, right? You might not have several degrees, but education is different than wisdom. Wisdom is the key to everything you want out of life. Wisdom is the key to everything you're going to want out of life. Proverbs 8:11. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Wisdom is more valuable than anything else you could go after. Nothing you desire can compare with it. Proverbs 4:7. Getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do, and whatever else you do, develop good judgment. So it's not about an education. Wisdom is way different than that. And over again, the Bible tells us to be wise. And if you aren't wise, it will affect every area of your life. And many of us are examples of that, right? Our problems that we are dealing with in life came out of a lack of wisdom, a lack of judgment, sound judgment. The reason I have financial problems, I've been foolish with my money. The reason I have relationship problems, I've been foolish with those decisions. In fact, in the Bible, there's a verse that says, there are ways that seem right, or we could even say wise to a man, but they only end in death. Well, it made sense at the time. Thought I was going to make it, so it made sense at the time. Anybody ever done something that thought, well, it made sense at the time? I mean, it can be as simple. When I was a kid, I don't know how this happened, but I was riding my bike, which was a 10-speed, so it's fairly good size, and our garage door was halfway down. And I thought, I will just get as low on my bike as possible and ride into the garage door, which is what I did. I mean, if I get low, wham, I just nailed it. And you know what that was? That was dumb. That was not wise. But we've all done those kind of decisions, whether it was that, but we thought, well, that made sense at the time. Proverbs 9:11, wisdom will multiply your days and add years to your life. This benefit alone is worth the price of admission for us. You will experience life the way it was meant to be. So why don't we do that? Why don't we live wise lives? Well, it's a lot easier to be stupid. It's always the easy choice. Now, I need to probably apologize. I see some of you brought your kids in here. I'm probably using the word stupid a lot. You're like, huh. So I'm sorry that you will have to explain why Pastor Mark can say that word and you can't. But by nature, we do dumb things. Wisdom is something that is learned. We're not born with wisdom. Proverbs 4, verse 5 says, get wisdom and develop good judgment. Don't forget my words or turn away from them. And you're never too old to learn this. So you think, well, a little too old to learn this. I wish I learned this a long time ago. That probably would have been helpful. Just because you're old doesn't mean that you don't have room to grow, and you can grow older without growing up. And in fact, you can grow older without being spiritually mature. Also, you're never too young to learn this. Quit trying to learn the old-fashioned way. You know that the old-fashioned way is to learn from our mistakes, which is hopeful. I mean, I do hope that you learn from your mistakes. Absolutely, you should learn from your mistakes. But if that's the way you want to get wisdom, that's a difficult way to do it. It's a difficult way. Here's what I'd rather you do. Learn from other people's mistakes. Because your friends are going to make mistakes. People around you are going to make mistakes, and you go, well, that's dumb. That's dumb. That's really dumb. Learn from other people's mistakes. That's all right. You can do that. How do I learn to be wise? Proverbs 1:7 tells us, fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge. So it starts with the fear of the Lord. This is not like Halloween. It's not that with God, right? It is the respect for his word. I'm going to respect his word. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. So like if your parents tell you something that's wise for you to do and you go, pfft, right? You're a fool. You're a fool. I'll do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, well, that's absolutely true. This is a free country, and you can do stuff. It's just if you despise their wisdom and then their discipline, it'll mark you as a fool. We don't get wisdom from the internet or TV. You won't get wisdom from politicians. I mean, how many of us believe everything we read on the internet? We don't. How many of you believe everything you see on TV? No. How many of you believe everything our politicians are telling us right now? My guess is no. And yet we have probably spent way more time listening to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton over the last seems like years, than we have listened to the wisdom of God. Some of us have spent some time listening to Kim Kardashian. You think that's going to make you wiser? I don't know. Because you might say, well, at least I'm not, right? Okay. But Proverbs 15:14 says, a wise person is hungry for knowledge, while the fool feeds on trash. If you want to be wise, you're going to need to feed on some truth. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, I can watch that and it doesn't affect me at all. I can watch that and it doesn't affect me at all. I can watch that. I can read that and it doesn't affect me at all. And there might be the problem. It just doesn't affect you anymore. It used to kind of bother you when you watched that show or went to that movie or listened to those lyrics. We listen to music that's now filled with such evil and abusive and profane language. And we don't even notice, and we become a fool. Wise people protect their minds. The Apostle Paul told us to put on the helmet of salvation, which is for our protection. A helmet is there to protect us. Now, a lot of stuff on TV is not evil. It's just kind of junky. Nothing wrong with junk food, except it can cause some problems. In fact, if I load up on junk food, then I won't have much room for anything else. And truly, I could do that. I mean, if there's a bag of Cheetos on the table for breakfast, I'm eating it. Sweet Cheetos. And if there happens to be a bigger bag at lunchtime, I'm like, that's Cheetos again. This is awesome. Cheetos at dinner time, best day ever. And maybe some Fritos. This is great. Anything with O's and eat those is great for me. I truly love them. But after a while you go, I don't think this is healthy. this probably isn't very good. Pringles? Okay. Right? And we just load up on junk. So the wise person says, am I spending any time connecting with truth? Proverbs 12:15 says, fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. Proverbs 13:30. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools, and you'll get into trouble. If you're going to grow, you need some wise people in your life. Find some wise people and begin to hang out with them. And you don't need a lot of wise people. You just need some. You don't need to become popular either. You just need a few good friends, friends who will build you up, friends who are wise and not foolish. If you hang around with foolish friends, you will eventually become one. My guess is some of you have even said this: I need some new friends. Whenever I'm with those guys, I do stupid stuff. It was fun, but I have paid some big prices for hanging out with them. And one of the best ways we can do this, we say this all the time around here, is for us to find some way to a small group. We grow best in community, and we go wiser in community as well. And you cannot grow spiritually mature by yourself. You just can't. And some of you are trying it. You are trying hard, and you have ignored our recommendation for this for years. But the quality of your life is going to be determined by the people you choose to be close to. Friendships are a make and break kind of thing. And parents, you know this, you totally get this. When you watch your children navigate through certain stages of life, and when they had friends who led them down foolish paths, you're just like, oh, right, I'm going to go hang out at, whoa, okay. I know that's foolish. It's always easier to pull somebody down than to build them up. For instance, if I asked John, come over here, I'll try to pull you up, John. Or you can try to pull me down. Let's see who can do that, right? John's going to pull me over. I'm not going to be able to lift him up. It's much easier to pull somebody down than to bring them up. Your friends, it's much easier for them to bring you down. I'm afraid some of you are not even open to this idea. Some of you are thinking, well, it's never even crossed my mind to do that. Would you at least be open to going to a small group? In fact, you don't even have to pray about it. You don't. It's way past praying. Unless you pray this. Okay, help me make the phone call today. Help me go online and do that. That's it. Because you don't have to pray, should I or shouldn't I? Should I go to a small group or shouldn't I? Because you know. I think you do know this. I think you know it would be good for your soul. I think you know that it would be good for your marriage. I think you know it would be good for your relationship with God. If you do that. Some of you have never thought about going on one of our short-term mission trips, not even crossed your mind. But I hope that maybe you would consider that as a wise investment of your money and time this year. In 2017, our student ministries is taking a group of high school students to Mexico to build a house. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Now, fortunately, there's also another group going down there as well, mostly adult stuff and things, and we're going to put good people on their crew, and they're going to do it. And in 2.5 days, they're going to build a house or a family in Mexico. I think it's one of the wisest investments you as parents can make for your children. You should invest in them in that way, and you should resource it as well. Because some of you are going to reward your students with a trip. If they're seniors, you're going to say, hey, let's go to Cancun. Now, I think you should go to Mexico. But I think you should go together and build a house. I think it'll change the course and the direction and the trajectory of both of your lives. And I say that because I know firsthand. Our son Mitch, when he was a senior in high school, went with our student ministries to South Africa. He had his heart set on attending the University of Sioux Falls and playing football for that college. He went to South Africa and came home. Dad said, I think I've made a mistake. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, I think I should be a minister. And I'm pretty sure Mitch was going to make a boatload of money. He's a high-level, high-capacity entrepreneur, risk-taker. We always thought that Mitch would make way more money than any of us, probably lose way more money than us, but he just has that mindset of doing stuff. And he came home, he said, I think I need to go to a different college. Well, this was like a week and a half or so. We're packed. But the University of Sioux Falls happens to be an American Baptist college that offers degrees in theology and youth ministry. So you can do that. And he goes, well, what's a theology degree? Now, this is a kid who's grown up in the church. His dad's a pastor. I said, well, that's the kind of degree that pastors get, and you learn about God and stuff. Good thing to do. Or youth ministry. So I don't want to do that. Like, okay. But I do think that it can change. Some of you are 10-talent people. You are. We need you in ministry. I know you can go make a boatload of money somewhere. I do know that, and you probably will. And you're probably going to be generous, and I hope so. And you'll push the ball down the field and advance the cause. But I'd like you to consider, please, we need you in the fight. You can do amazing things. Wisdom is a choice. You choose to be wise. Being honest is a choice. You choose to be honest. Having a great reputation is a choice. Being close to God is a choice. Will you do the wise thing? Are you going to pursue truth over money? Are you going to go after a great reputation rather than money? Are you going to find wisdom more than you care about money? And this is your choice. It's not your parents' choice to make, it's yours. Am I going to listen to God's voice? Am I reading His Word, getting His Word into my heart? And let me start with this. You probably noticed throughout this whole series, we've been using mostly the book of Proverbs. It's a wisdom book. It's written by the guy who God said, let me give you some wisdom. And Solomon wrote most of this stuff down for us and journaled his journeys through life. And so right here, we spent a lot of time on that today. Proverbs is a wonderful book to read. And there's 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. So if you read one a day, right, for a month, you will cover the whole thing. So today you would read Proverbs chapter 30. It's easy to figure out. So you could go home today and read Proverbs chapter 30. That's it. And so tomorrow you'll read Proverbs 31, and then 1 and 2 and 3, and just do that. Now, if you miss a day, don't try to make it up. It's okay. You're not going to be hit by nothing, right? So just go ahead and read the next one. It's like, I missed a whole week. Then you're going to give up. So just start, right, with the day you're doing. In fact, I think it's a wonderful thing to do with couples. You can read on breakfast, all that stuff. So you can spend some time doing that. And if there's only 28 or 29 or 30 chapters, figure it out. Maybe you're thinking, well, today I'm going to do something for my walk with God. I'm going to find my way to a small group. I'm finally going to make some friends there. And I do think it's one of the best things you can do. Make a commitment to be here for the next 4 weekends. We're going to start a new message series. I'm excited about it. We launched this brand new series called Why We Love Jesus. Mostly why I love Jesus. And I'm anxious to share that with you. We start that next weekend. It's a perfect message series to invite some friends to come to. It'll be very palatable for anybody because you're like, well, what if we don't love Jesus? Well, let me just tell you why I do, all right? Let me tell you why I love him. And I hope that will allow you to kind of get a picture of who he is and that you might be able to also fall in love with him as well, all right? So that's next weekend. We'll start that. It's going to be a powerful series. Hope you'll be a part of it. Let's pray. We've done some pretty foolish stuff in our life. For some of it's been massive damage control for a while. We're recovering from some pretty stupid things we've done. Super sorry about it. Wish we could go back, try it over, but so thankful that you picked us up and cleaned us off and set us back on a right path. We're surprised that you would, but we are thrilled that you did. Some of us are still doing some pretty foolish things. Honestly, we're embarrassed by it. We've asked you that we might be able to stop multiple times. We just can't seem to get a handle on it. We're under pressure, we're under some stress, and we just have defaulted into some stupidity things. We can't even help it. Feel very guilty, but also very helpless. So today, we honestly seek your wisdom for our life. For some of us, it's going to be a big choice. There's going to be some major changes. Friendship issues, relationship issues, all those things begin to, oh boy, if I make this choice, what's it going to do? And yet, we've been scared in the past to try to confront it. So today, we do need you to be our cornerstone, our rock, our strength, and courage, and our wisdom. In Christ we pray.